Good morning children, welcome back. We are now in the third assignment based video from the chapter life process. Today we will be discussing 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th question. 9th question, how is the small intestine designed to absorb nutrients? You know, small intestine is the longest part of the intestine, and the small intestine of humans maybe up to 5 to 6 meters. In herbivores have a longer small intestine than carnivores. This is to helps in the digestion of the cellulose, okay, or vegetarian food. And the animals which are herbivores have a longer small intestine than carnivores. This facilitates in the digestion of the carbohydrate or starch. Okay. Now the question is this: how is the small intestine designed to absorb the nutrients? So inside the small intestine there are finger-like projection called the microvilli. Microvilli. These microvilli are small finger-like projections. And what happens, the wall of the microvilli are very thin, so that the nutrients can easily get absorbed into the villi or the bloodstream inside the villi through the thin walls. Okay. So we can understand the microvilli shows wave-like movement and trap the food particles. When they show the wave-like movements, the food particles are trapped inside, and food particles get absorbed into the villi by what we call diffusion, and also by active transport, passive transport as well as active transport. Villi increase the surface area for the absorption of the food, like fingers you can see. Like fingers, the villi increase the surface area for the absorption of food. So villi have the three important role. Villi shows wave-like movement and get the food particles trapped in between them, and they get absorbed into the bloodstream of the capillaries inside the microvilli by diffusion and not only diffusion, we can say active transport. Diffusion is a passive transport, but active transport also take place. Villi increase the surface area for the absorption of the food. Okay, that's all. Now the 10th question: what advantage over an aquatic organism does a terrestrial organism have with regard to obtaining oxygen for respiration? The percentage of oxygen dissolved in water is less. So the aquatic organisms are to breathe faster in order to get the sufficient amount of oxygen from the water. Whereas in the air, 21% of atmospheric gaseous component is the oxygen. So the comparatively oxygen is more in the air. So what happens? Terrestrial organisms get more oxygen and they develop a powerful respiratory system according to the need of an organism. Okay? Right. Now we are coming to the 11th question. What are the different ways in which glucose is oxidized to provide energy in organism? There are three mechanisms. Anaerobic respiration can be of two types. In the absence of oxygen, anaerobic respiration takes place in yeast, bacteria and muscle cells. In yeast, in the absence of oxygen, the glucose first converted to pyruvic acid, then pyruvic acid to ethyl alcohol, carbon dioxide and some amount of energy in yeast. Then anaerobic respiration in bacteria and in muscle cells, you can see. During anaerobic respiration, the glucose convert to pyruvic acid, then pyruvic acid to lactic acid and carbon dioxide and energy. Lactic acid and energy. So pyruvic acid convert to lactic acid and energy, and also in yeast, the pyruvic acid is converted to ethyl alcohol. Whereas in aerobic respiration that takes place in mitochondria, in all the aerobic organisms, what happened? The glucose primarily converted to pyruvic acid, then pyruvic acid is completely broken down into carbon dioxide, water and energy. So First, both in aerobic and anaerobic respiration, glycolysis is the common step in which glucose is broken down. A single molecule of glucose is broken down into two molecules of pyruvic acid. Okay. Now, this pyruvic acid transport to the mitochondria, and in mitochondria you can see the in the presence of oxygen, the pyruvic acid is broken down into glucose, energy, carbon dioxide, and water. Now the last question, how is oxygen and carbon dioxide transported in human being? Oxygen is mainly transported in the form of oxyhemoglobin. You know, oxyhemoglobin. Oxygen combined with the hemoglobin and form oxyhemoglobin. And some amount of oxygen is transported in the form of plasma as well. Plasma dissolved in water. Whereas most of the carbon dioxide transport in animals, including human beings, is in the form of bicarbonates. HCO. And hemoglobin also carries some percentage. So, for example, hemoglobin combined with carbon dioxide form carboxyhemoglobin. Okay, you have to understand these points. Okay, so oxygen is transported in combination with combining with hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin, and carbon dioxide is transported in two ways, mainly in the form of bicarbonates. That means the carbon dioxide combines with water and form bicarbonate. Carbon dioxide combines with water and form bicarbonates. And also some percentage of the carbon dioxide is transported in the form of carboxyhemoglobin. Okay, carbon dioxide combined with the hemoglobin and form carboxyhemoglobin. That's all today. Thank you.